What's going on, YouTube? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Welcome to Texas Podcast. Thank you for all the day ones, all the new subscribers, likes, comments, feedback. Man, thank you so much. It's greatly, genuinely appreciated. How's everybody out there doing? Been a minute. Do a quick little live. Trying to figure out what to do with this channel. So I'm just, bouncing off the walls like a psych patient. But in the meantime, till I figure it out, it'll be content from, all over the place. Just trying to figure out what people want to watch and what they don't want to watch. And as well, I'll probably be learning something new as I go. So I watch a lot of content, especially from the California region, which the majority is based off prison genre. So, I'm looking at why people, they call the debriefer, or, people debrief from their, because I guess every state is different, right? There's certain criteria that you have to do and meet. And so I'm just, doing research and seeing what Google populates. And my search right there is California prisons gang debriefing process. Right? It says in California, prison gang debriefing is a formal multi-step administrative process used by the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation for inmates to renounce their affiliation with the security threat group. Historically, this process was the primary way for gang-affiliated inmates to exit solitary confinement, security housing unit, or commonly known as the SHU. It said key aspects of the debriefing process. Definition and goal. Debriefing is a voluntary process designed to allow validated gang members or associates to drop out of a prison gang. The goal is to obtain information about the gang structure, activities, members, allowing CDCR to reclassify the inmate and, if necessary, to move them to a safer, less restrictive, or non-designated program facility. So first of all, on that one, it seems like you got to tell and snitch. Right? It says you got to, the goal is to obtain information about the gang structure, activities, and members. So, that's plain and simple. Anybody that's going to go through the debriefing process got to go to, I guess, the sensitive need yards, or it doesn't have to. It said, a dropout from a validated gang. The circumstances of what a dropout is. A lot of people, it's kind of extend the goalpost a lot on those situations. Some people are no good, some people are good, but under these terms, it says everybody that had to go through that process, right? And it's, if you're an associate, a member, whatever another, it seems like you have to, if you want to drop out and go to a sensitive need yard, you have to snitch. Regardless. So, at one point or another, everybody that was in the California SMW sensitive need yards had a snitch. They had to tell on their information, had to tell on their structure, whatever. If it wasn't like part of the big three, you still had to tell something on your structure, on where you fell. What piece of the puzzle were you? How big of a piece of the puzzle were you? So that's the California, and it says it's broken down in two-phase process. Phase one, they interview you. The inmate provides an autobiography detailing their gang involvement, which is then verified for accuracy. So more telling, more snitching, right? From anybody that has to drop out. or go to a sensitive need yard. Phase 2, observation. Following the interview, the inmate may be placed in a controlled, safe environment for up to 6 months to ensure their safety and verify their commitment to leaving the gang. Safety measures. Self-incrimination. You can read it up there. All right, let's go. Let's see Texas. So for Texas, in Texas prisons, GRAD usually refers to the gang renouncement and disassociation process, a multi-month program helping inmates leave gangs for reintegration into general population, often boosting parole chances. But other education and reentry programs exist, like the Prison Entrepreneurship PEP, for Business Skills, University of Texas Education. Initiatives are aimed to reduce recidivism all through skills and education for successful reentry. The TDC graduate program, gang renouncement and disassociation. Purpose: to allow confirmed gang members to renounce their affiliation, avoid restrictive housing, and transition back to general population. Structure: a 9-month process involving classes, conjugative behavioral, substance abuse, and work assignments, using strategies for functional thinking, emotional management, and pro-social networks. Outcome: successful completion leads to release to general population. Failure to disassociate post-release recruit results in return to the detention and ineligibility for grad again. So Texas, if you want to renounce your security threat group, even if you're like a Crip, Blood, even a Dongo Blast, you go through this process, right? And that doesn't mean you have to tell on anybody. You know, the requirements of the grad for Texas, it doesn't give you a face of where, hey, write down all the crimes you did, who did it, name, date. No, it's just basically you gotta have good disciplinary report. You know, you gotta, you know, the guards don't have to see you associating with your homeboys or whatnot. They see you doing your own thing. It's basically based off your performance, not based off of what you can tell or throw anybody else under the bus. It's basically not to self-incriminate yourself or others. You go through your 9-month program. I'm going based off the Google research, right? Because I wanted to see the difference. I was in the curiosity, we're wondering, like, does Texas still, you know, the ones that are like the Texas Syndicate, the Mexican Mafia, do those type of guys, do they have to snitch on themselves? And apparently they don't, right? They don't. They just have to follow the program, the 9-month program, be disciplinary free. You get you some programs, some anger management, some thinking, some therapy. You know, you get them certificates and you can renounce your gang. So I guess there is, how can you say, levels, right? But it seems like in California, no matter the situation you're in, you have to debrief. You have to tell on somebody to be able to get yourself out of it. So that's just my little quick opinion on that little topic. Just trying to see where I go with this. Y'all have a good one.